You've been told that probiotics are the key to better gut health, that if you just find the right strain, the right brand, the right dose, your bloating will disappear, your digestion will improve, and your immune system will get stronger. Here's the truth nobody is telling you. For most people, probiotics are doing absolutely nothing. And for some of you, they are making things worse. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down what the science actually says about probiotics, why the marketing has gotten so far ahead of the evidence, and what you should be doing instead if you actually want to improve your gut health. By the end of this video, you will finally understand why that probiotic you've been taking for months has not changed a thing. You've spent the money, maybe a lot of money. You picked the brand with the best reviews or the one your favorite influencer recommended. You took it every day like you were told, and nothing changed. Or worse, you felt more bloated, more gassy, more uncomfortable than before. But instead of questioning the product, you questioned yourself. Maybe you picked the wrong one. Maybe you need a higher dose. Maybe you need to give it more time. So you bought another brand and started over. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mel Ona, a board-certified gastroenterologist with graduate training in nutritional biochemistry and metabolism. I've treated over 10,000 patients, and I've seen the probiotic cycle play out hundreds of times in my clinic. Patients spending hundreds of dollars on products that were never matched to their actual condition. What I'm about to share is not anti-probiotic, it is pro-truth. I'm going to walk you through 5 truths about probiotics that the supplement industry does not want you to hear, and show you what actually moves the needle for your gut health. Truth number 1. Most probiotics are not backed by the evidence you think they are. The global probiotics market is worth tens of billions of dollars. The marketing is polished, persuasive, and everywhere. But here is what most people do not realize. The vast majority of probiotic products on store shelves have never been tested in rigorous clinical trials for the specific condition you are trying to treat. The research that does exist is strain-specific and condition-specific. That means a particular strain of bacteria may show benefit for antibiotic-associated diarrhea, but that does not mean it does anything for your bloating, your irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, or your immune system. The supplement industry takes narrow findings and markets them as broad solutions, and consumers pay the price. The probiotic industry is built on a $70 billion game of extrapolation. One study on one strain for one condition gets turned into a label that says, supports digestive health. That is marketing, not medicine. I have patients who bring in 3 or 4 different probiotic products to their appointments. When I ask why they are taking each one, the answer is almost always the same. I read it was good for gut health. When we look at the actual evidence for those specific products and their specific symptoms, there's almost never a match. They've been taking products based on marketing claims, not clinical evidence. And they've been doing it for months or years with nothing to show for it. Imagine going to a pharmacy and grabbing a random antibiotic off the shelf because you heard antibiotics cure infections. That sounds absurd, right? Because we know antibiotics are specific. The right one depends on the infection. Probiotics work the same way, specific strains for specific problems. But the industry sells them like they are a one-size-fits-all. They are not. Look at the probiotic you are currently taking. Can you identify the exact strain, not just the species, on the label? Do you know which specific condition that strain has been studied for? If you can't answer both of those questions, you're taking it on faith, not on evidence. But the evidence gap is only part of the problem. This next truth is why probiotics actively backfire for so many people. Truth number 2, adding bacteria to a disrupted gut can make things worse. Your gut microbiome is an ecosystem with trillions of organisms in a delicate balance. When that ecosystem is already disrupted, whether from bacterial overgrowth, a compromised gut lining, chronic inflammation, or dysbiosis, adding more bacteria into the mix does not restore order. It adds to the chaos. This is especially true for conditions like SIBO, where the problem is too much bacteria in the wrong place, the small intestine. Introducing a probiotic into that environment is like inviting more guests to an already overcrowded room. More fermentation, more gas, more bloating. The gut environment has to be stabilized before you can successfully introduce beneficial bacteria. You wouldn't throw seeds into soil that is on fire and expect a garden. So why are you throwing bacteria into a gut that is already in chaos and expecting it to heal? This is one of the most common patterns I see. A patient starts a probiotic because they were told it would help. Within days or weeks, their bloating gets worse. Their gas increases. They feel more uncomfortable than before. Instead of recognizing this as a signal that their gut was not ready, they switch brands and try again. The cycle repeats. When we step back and address the underlying issue first, whether that's treating SIBO, improving the gut environment through dietary changes, or reducing inflammation, the symptoms improve without any probiotic at all. Then, if a probiotic is appropriate later, it has a chance of actually working because the terrain supports it. Think of a fish tank where the water is murky, the pH is off, and the current fish are stressed. Dropping more fish into that tank does not fix the water quality. It makes condition worse for everyone. You have to clean the water first, balance the chemistry, then introduce new fish when the environment can support them. Your gut works the same way. If you started a probiotic and your symptoms got worse or stayed the same after 4 to 6 weeks, do not just switch brands. This is your gut telling you the environment is not ready. Consider whether you need a proper evaluation to find out what is actually going on before adding anything new. And this leads directly to one of the most misleading claims in the entire supplement industry. If this is making you rethink what's in your medicine cabinet, hit subscribe. I post regularly on gut health, nutrition science, and disease prevention. No supplement sponsors, no affiliate deals, just the truth from a GI doctor with the training to back it up. Let's keep going. Truth number 3, gut health on a label means almost nothing. Walk into any health food store and you'll see dozens of products claiming to support gut health. Probiotics, synbiotics, postbiotics, gut healing powders, microbiome boosters. Here's the problem. Gut health is not a medical term with a standardized definition. It's a marketing category. When a product says it supports gut health, it's not making a specific clinical claim that has been validated. It's using language that sounds medical without actually being held to medical standards. And consumers interpret it as though it has the same weight as a doctor's recommendation. It does not. Supports gut health is the supplement industry's version of thoughts and prayers. It sounds nice. It means almost nothing, and it is not going to fix your problem. I trained not only as a gastroenterologist, but also completed a Master of Science in Nutritional Biochemistry and Metabolism. I understand the science of how nutrients and dietary compounds interact with human physiology, and I can tell you that the gap between what most gut health products claim and what the evidence actually shows is enormous. Patients bring me products with impressive labels and convincing marketing. When I look at the actual ingredients, the dosages, and the clinical evidence, most of them would not pass the standard I would set for my own patients, let alone my own family. Ask yourself, does the product name a specific strain of bacteria with clinical research behind it, or does it just list general species? Does the label make broad claims like supports digestive wellness without citing specific conditions or outcomes? Are you taking this product because of evidence or because of marketing, a recommendation from a non-medical source, or a convincing colleague, or a flashy website? If the answers point to marketing rather than evidence, you are likely paying for a promise, not a result. So, if most probiotic products are not the answer, what does the science actually support? This is where it gets interesting. Truth number 4, what actually improves your microbiome, and it's not a capsule. The single most effective way to improve the health and diversity of your gut microbiome is not a supplement. It's what you eat every day. Your gut bacteria feed on fiber. Different types of fiber from different food sources feed different populations of bacteria. When you eat a diverse, fiber-rich diet with a wide variety of plant foods, you're actively cultivating a healthier, more resilient microbiome. Research consistently shows that the number of different plant species a person eats per week is one of the strongest predictors of microbiome diversity. Not the probiotic they take, not the gut health powder they add to their smoothie. The variety and volume of real food on their plate. You're spending $60, $70, $80 a month on a probiotic when the most powerful microbiome intervention on the planet is sitting in the produce aisle for a fraction of the cost. In my practice, when patients shift from supplement-focused strategies to food-focused strategies, the results speak for themselves. more consistent bowel habits, less bloating, better energy, and these changes often happen within 1 to 2 weeks. The key is not perfection, it's diversity and consistency. Adding even a few new plant foods each week can start shifting the microbiome in a measurable direction. I want you to stop doing the following. Stop relying on probiotic supplements as your primary gut health strategy. Stop eating the same narrow rotation of foods every week. Stop spending money on microbiome support products that have no clinical evidence behind them. And I want you to start doing the following. Start counting the number of different plant species you eat each week. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices all count. Aim for 30 or more. Start prioritizing whole foods over supplements for gut health. A diet rich in fiber from diverse sources does more for your microbiome than any capsule. Start reducing ultra-processed foods, which are increasingly linked to reduced microbiome diversity, metabolic disease, and gut inflammation. Now you understand what actually builds a healthy gut from the inside out. But there is one more truth that brings this all together, and it is the most important one. Truth number 5, the best thing you can do for your gut is get properly evaluated. Here is the truth that no supplement company will ever tell you. If you have persistent digestive symptoms, the most important thing you can do is get a proper medical evaluation. Not a stool test you ordered online, not a food sensitivity panel from a wellness company, a real clinical evaluation by a qualified physician who can determine what is actually going on. Conditions like SIBO, inflammatory bowel disease, celiac disease, motility disorders, and even early-stage colorectal issues can all cause symptoms that people try to self-treat with supplements for years. And every month spent guessing with supplements is a month that a real diagnosis could have been made and a real solution could have been started. No probiotic has ever detected a precancerous polyp. No gut health powder has ever diagnosed SIBO. No supplement has ever caught colorectal cancer early. Proper medical evaluation does all of those things. I think about the patients who came to me after years of self-treating, the ones who spent thousands on supplements and online protocols while an actual diagnosable condition was sitting there waiting to be found. Some had bacterial overgrowth that cleared with targeted treatment. Some had inflammatory conditions that needed medical management. And some had findings on endoscopy that, if left undiscovered, could have become life-threatening. Every one of them said the same thing. I wish I had come in sooner instead of trying to figure this out on my own. Think of it this way. If your car was making a strange noise every time you drove it, you could spend months reading forums and trying different fuel additives, or you could take it to a mechanic who can actually listen to the engine, run diagnostics, and tell you what's wrong. Your gut is no different. At some point, you have to stop guessing and get someone qualified to look under the hood. Tonight, do this. If you have been dealing with persistent bloating, reflux, changes in bowel habits, or any digestive symptom that has lasted more than a few weeks, make the call. Schedule an appointment with a gastroenterologist. Not next month, this week. Write down your symptoms before the appointment. What you experience, how often, how long it's been going on, and what you've already tried. This gives your doctor the clearest possible picture to work with. Stop adding new supplements until you have a diagnosis. Every dollar you spend on unproven products is $1 and a month of time that could be spent on the actual solution. And if you're 45 years old or older and have not had a colonoscopy, bring that up at the same appointment. Screening is separate from symptom evaluation, and both matter. This is not symptom management. This is the first step toward root cause resolution. A proper evaluation identifies what is actually driving your symptoms so that every decision after that, whether it involves diet, lifestyle, medication, or yes, even a targeted probiotic, is based on evidence rather than guessing. That is how you stop the cycle of trial and error and start making real progress. Here's my final thought for you. Probiotics are not the villain. The villain is misinformation. The belief that a capsule can replace a diagnosis. The marketing machine that sells broad promises based on narrow science. The cycle of buying, hoping, and starting over that keeps you stuck and keeps your wallet empty. Your gut deserves better than guessing. Deserves an evidence-based approach. real food, proper evaluation, and interventions that match your actual condition. That is how you build a gut that works. In the next video, I'm covering the 5 digestive symptoms you should never ignore and when it's time to see a doctor immediately. If you've been wondering whether what you are experiencing is serious or not, that video will give you clarity. Click the link on screen or in the description and watch that one next.